Hello, I'm Tina Piermarini. Welcome to Tina Cooks. Today we're going to have an excellent show. Show you some delicious eggplant recipes. We're going to start by cleaning our eggplant. And when I clean my eggplant, I naturally cut it and peel it, and I salt it and pepper it. And I let, you're going to see a brown water come out of the eggplant. You got to let it sit 2-3 hours so that it all comes out. It makes the eggplant less bitter. And I have made it without taking the brown stuff out, and I've made it, you know, after I've weighted it with salt and pepper. My nonna always weighted it down with salt and pepper and took the brown stuff out. So we're just going to work on this peeling, slicing. Okay, I'm cutting them about so thick, not quite a ½ inch. You can make them thinner if you want. You can cut them on the diagonal. I'll do some this way, and I'm going to do some this way. Okay, because I want to show you how we can make little wraps out of these with stuffing. Those are going to be delicious too. So we'll put those aside for now. Actually, we'll do the rest of them like that now that we started that. Alrighty, I got coarse salt, and I do have a fine pepper. I use a fine pepper for this. Now what you do is, Carl, can you get in the sink? Well, not literally in the sink, but you want me to put it up on the board? You're going to put a little sprinkle of pepper, sprinkle of salt, and you're going to do another layer. Okay? And you're going to do salt, and you're going to do pepper, and another layer. And you just continue like this. I'm going to keep this for the stuffing too. Uh-oh. Oh, excuse me, big sneeze. Be careful when you're flinging that pepper. And there we go. Now we're going to put this in a dish, naturally, by the sink. Rinse off my hands. I'm going to take a smaller dish, I'm going to put it on top, and I'm going to weight the eggplant. I'll show you. Watch out, Carl. Have a regatta container around here somewhere, but I'll use a bowl. Or better yet, I'll use my line. Good weight. There we go. That's weighted down. We'll be back. Okay, I'm just going to finish slicing up this, cutting up this garlic, dicing it up. Now I'm going to make the stuffing for a baked stuffed eggplant, okay? I'm going to start out naturally with oil. As you watch me cook these dishes, you're going to realize that I have a technique or a style that I use. I like certain, like garlic, onions. I start out with the same base all the time because that's what I like. And you'll see that I change the stuffings with breadcrumbs or crackers. Each thing I make, even though I'm using a basic start for the stuffing, I change with other ingredients after the fact. Okay, just going to get this going just a tish. Baked stuffed eggplant is a dish that is just, it's probably one of my most favorite things to eat. I love eggplant. This is about a pound of meat. I have 3 sausage links, and again, maybe about 6-8 ounces of hamburger. We're going to saute this down. We're going to drain it like we normally do. I think I've stuffed enough things for you to know how I do the stuffings now. You should have gotten, you didn't even need a recipe. That's how many I've showed you. I'm going to add a little salt. Okay, and we're just going to saute this up like we normally do. Get some spinach, aloya. We've done that before. Clean the spinach, fry it in oil and garlic. That's aloya, oil and garlic. Okay? And take a pile of that. And I am going to cut it up a little bit. Now see, I want a little more spinach in there. I don't think there's enough spinach in there for my liking. It may be enough for you. You want a little bit. Now I bet you I'm putting in at least a cup and a half of spinach to the pound of meat. I'd say your onions, you usually start out about a half a cup. Garlic, 1-2 cloves. But I want that a little more spinachy because by the time we add you know, the other stuff, the breadcrumbs and the seasonings and the eggs and, oops. This was really lean also. There's not a lot of grease in here, so I may not strain it. We'll see what happens when the sausage is finished. I just like to try to get the pink out of the sausage. Because in actuality, with the eggplant, you're going to be baking this a good 45 minutes to an hour. So it's not like it's not going to finish cooking, because it definitely will. But I don't know. It's pink. I like everything cooked. When it's meat. Boy, this stuff is just jumping out of this frying pan. I'm still going to eat it, whether you jump out or not. There you go. Okay. I'm going to finish this up, let it just cook a few more minutes, and when we come back, I'll show you how we're going to put this together. Alrighty. Now this eggplant has been draining for at least 2-3 hours. This is what I'm talking about, okay? This is the bitter stuff you just don't want, okay? Now what I like to do, and I need a minute, just to grab some paper towels, okay, right here, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually dab the excess off. Now, it's, you know, before you start to bread it, you don't want this stuff on it. You leave the seasoning on. Salt and pepper is great, you know, but you don't want all this on. Now this is a process that you have to bread it. So I don't know if you remember the chicken show, but we have our breading station. Flour, eggs and milk, and this is breadcrumbs seasoned with Romano cheese, salt, pepper, and granulated garlic, and parsley for color. What I'm going to do, you dredge in the flour, you dredge in the egg wash, and you do the breadcrumbs. Now, normally what I do is I used to fry my eggplant in oil. Now, for the people that want to fry their eggplant in oil, I'm going to take these few pieces, and I am going to go over there and drop it in the oil, okay? But what I like to do now is I broil my eggplant because, number one, I don't want to do all that deep fat frying anymore. It's just not good for you. And I don't want to be, I want to be a little more health conscious. So I'm just going to bread this up. I did spray the pan with some olive oil, Pam. I don't mind telling you I use it. I love it. It's got a great flavor and it's good to use. You don't have to use all the calories of oil. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, now what I'm going to do at this point is you have a choice. You can take a little bit of olive oil and a pastry brush and dab your eggplant. Okay, that way you do have a little bit of oil in there, but it's not like a deep fried, you're not deep frying it, so it's not like totally submerged in olive oil. And you can control the amount of olive oil you use. You want to use a couple of tablespoons and that's it because you're using a weight program. I personally use Weight Watchers. I love Weight Watchers. It's a great thing. I'm going to slide these under the broiler and check the deep fried ones. Okay, I'm going to continue to bread because those are going to take a few minutes. Okay, I'm going to take a 2-minute break because I got a mess going here, and we'll go over and check the fried eggplant. We'll be right back. All right, so these are the ones that I'm frying. I figured I would use the other ones that were left. Okay, as you can see, I drained them off. You want them nice and golden brown. This one can come off. And you just kind of keep doing this till everything is fried and everything is cooked. And you got them done. I'm going to put this little piece in here too. Now, on the baked ones, I'm going to put this back on the stove. I'm going to get a pot holder, okay? Let me check these. Now, as you can see, these are also starting to brown, okay? I'm going to put them back a few more minutes because I like them a little more golden brown than that, almost, darker. The consistency of this eggplant and the consistency of this eggplant, this is, it's deep fried, it's squashy. I mean, I love it, it's crunchy, but this has more of a meatier texture, it's not as soggy. So when you make a baked stuffed eggplant like we're making, it absorbs the sauce better. I actually, not that I like it better, but the texture of the eggplant, the baked stuffed eggplant, and what I'm making is a little bit better because it absorbs more. It's not all mushed out. Okay, so we're gonna give these time to cook. I'm gonna turn the other eggplants around, dab them with oil, put them back under, and we'll be back when they're done. This is the baked eggplant that we did in the broiler. This is the fried eggplant that we fried in the oil, okay? We're gonna make the stuffing for our baked stuffed eggplant in case anyone was wondering what we were making today. All right, I'm gonna start out with some breadcrumbs, and I decided to get a cup, half cup measure to see how much we're actually using here, okay? That's a half a cup. I know I want more than that. And that's a cup. Okay, so I have a cup of breadcrumbs in here, which is our sausage, hamburg, and spinach mixture. Now, when I work with eggplant, I like to add a buttery flavor to it. I've experimented with it, and I like the Townhouse crackers. And they're probably gonna break up to about a half a cup. It gives it a nice flavor different than breadcrumbs. You don't have to have all that breadcrumbs in there. All right, so we're gonna grind that in. That's kind of a secret that I do. I don't just use breadcrumbs with a stuffing like this. All righty. Now naturally, even though the meat is seasoned, I'm still gonna wanna season the meat. So I'm gonna add a little bit of crushed pepper and a little bit of granulate. However, I'm not going to add any salt as to yet because I want to add my eggs. I'm going to add 2 eggs. Here, we'll break them in this cup so we don't get any shells. Okay. All right, which I'm going to use 2. A little bit of Romano cheese. Because we're going to have the Romano, I'm going to go easy on the salt. A little bit of milk. And in my refrigerator, I have a plate, my nice new refrigerator. And I've got some cheese here, mozzarella and cheddar. Okay? Put that in there. Now we're going to just mix. Now this is even a little more moister than the regular stuffings I use because I like to keep it, this is a little too moist naturally. I'm going to have to add something. See how wet it is? It's very, very wet. You don't want it that wet. But I'm not going to add breadcrumbs. I'm going to add crackers because I like that flavor with the eggplant better. Okay, I'm going to break those up. Alrighty. Alright. And this is how I like this. All the cheese and seasonings and eggs and everything is in here. Alright. Now, what we do next, I'm gonna take a 2-minute break, wash my hands, and get my sauce, and we'll put this baked stuffed eggplant together, okay? We're back, and we're going to bake stuff and make our eggplant. I'm gonna take this out of here. Okay, first thing I'm gonna do is take all my eggplant out of this roasting pan, okay? And I can leave the breadcrumbs in there, they're not gonna bother anybody. I'm going to take a little bit of Pam so that nothing sticks, spray it in the bottom, and take a very, very, very little bit of sauce, just a little bit, a ladle. This is just regular tomato sauce. You could use marinara, you could use, I've even seen it done with Alfredo, but it's kind of caloric. All right, just a little tiny bit. We're going to take these and we're going to line them in here like this. Okay, I'm gonna put pieces all in here, fill it in, nice and neat, like so. Okay, then I'm literally gonna take the stuffing. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? Wait, I'm gonna do a little bit of sauce on here. A little bit of sauce on each one. Because I did broil these, and they do want some sauce on them. Not a lot. Okay. I'm not going to really go crazy with like a lot of mozzarella cheese or provolone cheese because we already have cheese in the stuffing. So I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of Romano on there. And then I'm going to take my stuffing and I'm just going to loosely drop it all over the eggplant. Okay? I'm going to save just a tiny bit of eggplant because I want to show you another dish that I like to do with it. Okay? Then I'm just going to take this and I'm going to press these in like this all the way around. Like this. I'm going to use some of the fried, of course, because I did fry them. I need to use them. I don't want to use that one, though. I want to save that one for the other dish. All right, so there we go. I'm going to move this over and this over and this over so that everything's nice and covered. Okay. And then I'm going to take some more sauce and I'm going to put it on the top. Okay. You want to make sure you put a good amount of sauce so that it, you know, soaks into the eggplant and it all gets in there. I'm not going to put any cheese on the top. I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm going to set this aside before I'll put it over here because I want to put the wax paper in the aluminum foil because I don't like to just put the aluminum foil on top. You do wrap that with wax paper and aluminum foil. Now in this one, I'm going to spray. And you can take these, and what I do is I fold them in half, and I tuck a little bit of stuffing, like that, fold them over, and then I top it with a piece of provolone. Fold it over. I also like, people are gonna go, ugh, American cheese. I really, really like it on a eggplant. I think it's great. Try it, don't knock it till you try it. Okay, and I'm going to fold this one in half. Now, if you don't want to stuff them, okay, which you don't have to stuff them, you can just make them plain eggplant parm. And I'll show you, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take a piece of American, fold it over, and a nice piece of provolone. And I'll tell you something, doesn't get much better than that. I'm going to take some sauce. Now, you can either coat these with sauce or not. If you're not going to cover them with sauce, then I suggest you save the cheese for the last 10 minutes of baking. Because without sauce to cover it, it'll all, you know, melt off. It's going to melt a little bit here too and probably, you know, melt off a little bit, but not as bad as if there was no sauce covering it at all. Okay? Alrighty, this is a disaster. Alright, we're going to move this up here too. Now the next step I'm going to do, and I think you've seen it enough times, but I'll show it to you again. All right, I'm just going to get my wax paper and aluminum foil. Okay, and move it over here. Because what I'm going to do this time, because when I did my zucchini show, my cheese stuck, which meant I forgot to spray my wax paper, which I always spray my wax paper, okay? Because it does stick to your food. Okay. Carl, we really should hire a maid when I do these shows. Okay. I have my oven on 350. Okay, that's what I bake them on. Now this eggplant will take a good 45 minutes to an hour to bake because you have your stuffing and your eggs, and it will take a good 45 minutes to an hour. And I am going to trim this. This is why you always got to have shears. This wax paper, if it overhangs like this, you do want to trim it because it will burn in your oven if it's hanging over, and it smokes. So it could give you the idea that you have a fire in your oven, which I have a fire extinguisher just in case. You never know when I'm going to be burning down the house. All right, so these are all wrapped and ready to go. We're going to put them into a 350-degree oven. We'll check them in about 45 minutes. All right, we're going to plate up our eggplant. This is the little eggplant. This one has, whoa, the Parmesan. Of course, this is the Parmesan one, I can tell. I'm going to take this little bowl. Now, I want you to notice, this is a stuffed one. Oh, boy, does it look good. This looks like a little bit of a cheese sauce. This is from the American cheese and the different cheeses. You just put that right on top. Drizzle a little sauce. Yeah, see how that's coming? A little bit of Romano cheese. There we go. We're going to slide this over there. Nicely done. Okay, we're going to move this aside. That's why I got the pot holders. Didn't use them, but I got them out for a reason. All right, now we're going to check the eggplant. Here we go. Okay. Yes. Now this is going to go to Cousin Dave and Tammy's party tomorrow. We are partying this weekend. I'm going to use the regular plate. I'm going to cut this out and I'm going to put it back in for the party. Okay. There you go. I'm going to do the same with this. I'm going to drizzle a little extra sauce. Oh yeah. If you want a bigger piece, have a bigger piece, but ordinarily when I serve a baked stuffed eggplant, you gotta have a wide homemade or a thick spaghetti. It's no good without it. Okay. Eggplant 1 and 2. I'm gonna try this one. Okay, here we go. Everybody says nobody eats your food. Yeah, they do. I do, Carl does, and Dave and Tammy and all the cousins will. That is good. Try the dishes, they're excellent. This is eggplant Tina style. Have a good night. You didn't like it. But I forgot what I was supposed to say. Egg-citing. Egg-citing. You could help me at any time. Today we're going to have an exciting show. All right, we're going to plant. Yeah. Let's start over again. I'm getting tired.